Klaus.
Well, I just wanted to put this up, if it's okay with you.
Please do.
Just a minute. This it doesn't respond. Okay, now I wanted to start simply. My version of a social system is that there's language, there are technological ways of communicating, and people using them relative to each other. So, and I think the issue is what happens from there on. Who are we as intellectuals? And I think I want to make a distinction here between, let's say, uncritical theorists, and I hate to say, but we are often getting into this by being outsiders, developing a general theory, an abstract theory, if you want, and think that is what it is. And I think that there is the issue what kind of language you use or what kind of facilities you're using, like mathematics or biology analogies. And you're completely free if you are uncritical, if you're just satisfied with the generalizations. But if, on the other hand, to me, I mean, a theory that, or a research that has to do with social systems has to be related as activist, if you want, to the social systems. So for me, a critical theorist is someone who develops not a theory of social systems, but a social theory of social systems. Namely, one, now you say sometimes narrative, and I think I have a good relationship to that, but I think something that can be re-entered in the social system and play a role. And it is not dominating, it's not a governing structure, but it plays a role, is interacting and perhaps possibly change it. So to me, I think this is the critical part of critical cybernetics, is to see the analyst or the cybernetician as part of the system or as a contributor, not as a governor, not as a, but developing social theories that are in terms of the people that can use them, apply them. No? So that's kind of one thing that I want to point out. It has something to do with us as the role we play relative to the social system that we're describing. And as I said, we can be satisfied by just being general, making predictions, and all of this kind of stuff that have no implications. But we could also think of doing something different, namely doing it in such a way that people could understand it, that people in the social system could understand it, apply it, and change their own lives.
So the only problem, Klaus, I would ask with that is you've put the observer outside the social system. And Lerman says that there is no place that you can observe a social system from.
But I don't put it. You see, I put this big blue frame. I think they are part of the same system. But of course, at the moment, and you creating something, a social theory, which could be then put back into the system and as a narrative and play their role. I don't. But the point is of awareness of the analyst. And I think I hear many of the contributions that they are general, they are abstract, and they're from the outside and have no relationship to the conception of the people that are in the system. And when you say, an abstraction governs, abstractions don't do anything. They are in a language that people use with each other.
So,
yeah,
Jonathan,
abstractions tie concepts and ideas together. So
they don't. You do it. They don't.
Okay, I think the missing word is gestalt shift. We in our head do the shift that we either think outside the system or in the system.
Exactly.
Because if you look at the slide, Klaus clearly said the observer as a participant. So he assumed he was in the system. But you have to think as if you're in the system. And so the problem is we often don't think as in the system because we're told we're not supposed to think as if we're in the system. So we're not being trained to understand the subtle distinction between what it is that is going on. So at least that is the way I understand your slides.